There are 4 types of competitive Pokemon players, and every single battler can be categorized into one of these 4 major categories. There are the Reds, who are driven by power and precision. Then there are the Greens, who are driven by comfort and consistency. Next, we have the Blues, who are driven by logic and control. And then we have the Yellows, who are driven by chaos and creativity. Understanding these 4 colors and how they show up in every battle I've ever done has helped me adapt faster, prepare better, and outplay opponents even when I did not have the matchup or experience advantage. If you're curious on which color you are and how to start reading your opponents like books in tournaments, start climbing the ladder and making day 2s and even qualifying for the world championships, keep watching, because this system will change how you prep, how you battle, and most importantly, how you win more games. Now, if we haven't met yet, here's why I think you should listen to me, okay? Really quickly, my name is Darsh Patel. I qualified for the Pokemon World Championships while working a 9-to-5 job, when in reality it's like 8 to 6, building a YouTube channel right now that we're doing together, and having a busy life with my girlfriend, with my friends, and trying to figure out this thing called life. I've competed in regional tournaments across the country. I've competed in international tournaments across the water in London. I'm even going to be playing in Brazil in 3 weeks. Not only that, I have beaten 3 world champions, like the best player of all time, Wolf Glick. I've sat on stream and played in front of thousands of people, and I've built systems that help more players win games. Okay, I've ended up coaching now dozens of players through tournament prep, through team building, and through mindset advice that honestly has led to real results. This framework that you're about to learn is based on real tournament experience, real coaching that I've done, and real systems that actually work. In this video, very simply, you're gonna learn 3 things. 1, what color and what category you are and what that means, the weaknesses that hold each color back, and how to beat every other player you play against by seeing the color that they are. Because if you don't learn this, you're gonna keep wondering why some battles feel effortless and why others feel impossible to win. But imagine being able to sit across from any opponent ever and instantly know how they think, how they play, and how to get inside their head. It starts with knowing your battle color. Now, let's identify yours. To do this, you have to very simply answer 2 questions, okay? 2. And before we get into that, please subscribe and please like the video. I'm very curious to see if this is content that you want to see. And if you want an actual personality test that gives you this color in more depth, comment the word colors and I'm gonna send it to you for free. You only, again, need to answer these 2 questions. Yes or no, that's it. The first one is, are you an aggressive player or are you a more relaxed one? Do you like to control the tempo, pressure early, and force your opponent to react? Yes or no? If yes, you're either a red or a yellow. If no, you're either a green or a blue. And again, I don't want you to worry about this yet. Right now, we're figuring out what color you are, okay? For example, me, I know I'm not the most aggressive player, okay? I'm a little bit more passive and reactive. So I'm not red or yellow, but I know I am green or blue. So the second question that I have to ask is, do you stick to a game plan or a very structured approach to your matches? If the answer is yes, you're either a red player or a blue player. And if the answer is no, you are yellow or green. Okay, me personally, I am not someone who is very structured. Okay, I'm handling different games almost all the time in different approaches. I am throwing things at the wall and trusting my intuition more than I'm following specific lines into specific matchups and bringing specific Pokemon to beat specific others. That's just how I play. It's a little bit different, I know, but that's me. So if you haven't noticed, that gives us 4 different combinations of colors, 4 different options. And no matter what you pick, you are either one or the other. If you are red, you are aggressive and you are structured. If you are yellow, then you are aggressive, but you are flexible. If you are blue, then you are passive, but you are structured. And if you are green, then you are passive, but you are flexible. These are the 4 types of Pokemon battlers. Which one are you? Because in reality, we are all a mix, and I get that. But under pressure, in game 3 of a stream match, in your winning it, in the very first game of your first official Pokemon tournament, your default color shows up. I'm sorry, it does. Because that's who you are. So I know you're saying, well, Darsh, what do these colors even mean? So let's break them down right now before you even go into how the the other colors see you and how you can beat them. So the color red, this is the commander. This player is aggressive with their approach, but structured in their preparation. Red players' identity is that they want to control the match from turn 1. They build optimized teams and have clear game plans, apply early pressure, and force the opponent to respond. They play to win fast and on their terms. Their strengths are they control the tempo of the game. This is often hard trick room. This is often hyper offense. This could even be Dondozo. They have very calculated risk taking as a strength as well. And they have very prepped game plans. But their weakness is that they overcommit to certain plans. They tilt if something disrupts their script. I'm telling you, watching a hyper offense player miss an attack like Draco Meteor, their world comes crashing down. And they sometimes value execution over adaptation. But I'm gonna tell you guys, like their best traits is that they're coming prepared. They have high level prep. They have elite execution. They know what they're showing up, how to do it, apply the pressure, and win games. But of course, the risks are they're very rigid. So if they're found out or counteracted on well, they're going to lose a lot of games. A great player to describe this style of play is both Carson Confer and James Evans. These players always use hyper offensive teams that apply a ton of pressure and play in a line. The best parts are is that these players have used hyper offense like Carson Confer in Sacramento, where he won the regional championship, or James Evans, where he not only won a world championship, he's won an international championship, but he even recently finished second again at Worlds. These players have teams that push the lines, push you back, and push you forward. But again, there's a risk of they can be found out. Carson Confer went 0-3 at the World Championships, and James Evans lost in finals using the same team he's used in the same lead over and over and over. Of course, they're great players. What I'm saying is the upside is there, but the downside is that if a good player is figuring you out and finds out your game plan, things can go wrong fast. So let me know, comment below, are you a red, are you a commander? The next color is yellow, the wild card, the gambler, some could say. This player is both aggressive in their gameplay, but very flexible in how they come up with strategies. They're driven by two things, okay? Creativity, very unique teams, very unique styles, and chaos, making the game crazy, unpredictable, playing the game, and on their head, a knife's edge. They love unpredictable lines. They love risky moves. They love high ROI opportunities. They thrive on high risks, surprise terrestrializations, and a really crazy off-meta tech. I'm talking about Sleep Powder on Jump Left, a Espathra and DD team with Hydreigon and King Gambit that some Italian players use at a recent tournament. I'm talking about using Ditto at a tournament. They make their opponents uncomfortable by playing boldly. Their strengths are obvious, right? They're creative. They're always thinking about new teams and how to use them. They're making a lot of reads. They're being aggressive. They're taking ghost type moves into dark types waiting for a Terra. But their weaknesses are that sometimes it's inconsistent. They sometimes throw games trying to make the early read, faking out a ghost type, expecting a Terra on turn 1. They want to be sometimes too clever, too flashy, and call the opponent out. Emotion drives their play more than logic. And sometimes that's a great thing, but sometimes that can really hurt them if they're wrong. But again, their best traits is that they have the best game sense, the best intuition. Game on the line, you don't know what they're gonna do, and they might know what you're gonna do, right? When I think of a yellow player, there's one player that comes to my mind, and it's Joseph Ugarte, okay? This player is always using Sleep Powder, always using weird techs like Eject Pack Torkoal, has used Ditto at multiple regionals, and is a player known for always playing aggressive, but on the knife's edge and using different confusing techs. That is how this player plays. Again, we've seen him win multiple regionals, make really deep runs at international championships, and be the most collected player last year in North America. A fun fact, I did beat him, but he's a great friend. He's a great guy. But I'm telling you guys, if you're a yellow player, I want to hear it in the comments. And tell me why you are, because I know you have a funny side to you. But blue players are where things get different. Blue players are the architects of VGC, of competitive Pokemon. They are way more passive, but don't mistake passive for weak, because they're not only passive, but they are planned. They know what they're about to do to you. They've studied this. They are going to react and counter. If you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, they are the waterbenders. They're going to react and then push it back to you twice as hard. They are driven by logic, by understanding the calcs, the speed dynamics, okay? the theories, but also control. They want to always be in control of what's going on and have a deeper understanding of the board state than you. Their identities are very similar, okay? The blues rely on math, on data, on percentages, on calculations and structure. They bring spreadsheets to locals. Every move is calculated. Every EV is in a master document where they have every single EV into every single possible attack, into every single combination of attacks, okay? They protect, they pivot, and they optimize. That's who they are. Their strengths are obvious: risk mitigation, but also consistency in the matchup spread. This is the kind of player that when they see your team, they have expected it, they have a plan for it, they have a line for it. They're not gonna go for a crazy play turn one, but they're gonna see how you play. They're gonna analyze what you're doing. They're seeing your speed tiers, your HP bar go up. They're writing everything down. But their weakness is that they have analysis paralysis. When something breaks their flowchart with their Gamma's calculations, they freeze up. They overvalue safety, and sometimes they underuse their instinct. But it's clear their best traits are that they have great long-term strategy and, more than that, great team building. They're very planned out. They're very prepared. They're very ready for what's to come. But that, of course, in the downside means that they are under-adaptable. They are a much slower tempo and can be hurried up when they don't want to be. And lastly, we have me, where I'm a green player, okay? I am someone like you maybe who is passive but flexible. I am driven by two things like all other green players across the world: comfort and consistency. The green colors love reliability. We default to what feels good. For me, this is Grimmsnarl. I bring Grimmsnarl, Light Screen, Reflect, Thunder Wave to almost every single Pokemon tournament, okay? I brought it to Worlds. I brought it to NAIC. I brought it to every single regional last year. But hey, it worked. I qualified for my first ever World Championships. Green trust their intuition, their team, and their muscle memory. They rarely tilt. They stay grounded as well because they're prepared for what's to come. You have to be flexible. So this means that their strengths are quite easy to understand. They have a lot of control over how they are playing. They're emotionally very prepared. They know the rhythm the game is supposed to be played in. They know how to react to fast, react to slow, and lastly, they have a good resistance to what can happen. They know anything can happen at any time. They're not the ones aggressing. So what that means is that they're so used to adapting and being countered. Of course, every player is adaptable, but this player is very used to being on the receiving side of what's to come from other players. But naturally, their weaknesses are playing against aggressive pressure. Things that are so overwhelming that they've never seen can be tough. They can get easily locked into old habits and familiar models of play. Trust me, I know this. I am a Grimmsnarl believer. I have brought Grimmsnarl maybe to matches where I shouldn't have came. When I see Goldango, I know Grimmsnarl is probably not the Pokemon to bring, but I still bring it. That's one of my weaknesses, because in comfort comes sometimes reliance on those old habits. But of course, the best traits is having trust, having experience, having reliability, and yes, that is at the cost of vulnerability to meta shifts and heavy prep. I myself am a green player, but another green player that you might know is Michael Kelsch. Michael Derbest is the epitome of green player. He has used different kinds of teams at every single Pokemon tournament to win back-to-back regionals, make top 4 in back-to-back worlds, and have top cut worlds in back-to-back seasons. He's used hard Trick Room. He has used balance. He has used Trick Room with speed. He's used everything, and he is one in everything. You know why? He is adaptable. He is understanding. He is very free in how he plays. That's Michael Kelsch. So I wonder, after this point, what kind of player are you? Let me know in the comments. And again, now that you know who you are, here's how the other color types react to you. Because when they see you in battle, their perception of you matters just as much as your perception to them. This is how red sees other players. They see yellow as reckless. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? They see blue as slow. They're too passive. They're not going to control anything that's going on. I'm going to exert all of the game. And they see green as undecisive, weak. You don't have a plan. You're very passive. You're just gonna balance and counterweight against my direct, clear plans and threat. That's how red perceives all three of those. This is how yellow sees all the other players. They see red as predictable. Like, you are so boring. I know this team. I've seen everyone use this team. Right now, that's Sneasler, Ursaluna, Rillaboom, Incineroar, Goldango, Ninetales. The Lele team. I see that team all the time. It's predictable. I know what you're gonna do. I know your speeds. I know everything that you're gonna try to throw at me. They see blue as boring. Blue, you're so calculated. You're so slow. You're writing down everything. You're so boring. And they see green as uncreative. You're using balance. You're gonna be that flexible. You're gonna be like, you're gonna use the same old stuff over and over again. Follow me, fake out, spore. Like, that's so uncreative. Blue is a little bit different. They see red as overzealous. Oh my God, you want to overwhelm me. Here you come, big alpha, super powerful. You're overzealous. I don't care about you. They see yellow as foolish. Why would you play on a knife's edge like that? They always say you're so suboptimal. I was in a local tournament and someone called me, you play so suboptimally. Yet I beat them 2-0 and I knocked them out of the tournament. I'm just saying. And blue see green as naive. Now you can just balance your way and flow your way through everything. Like, you can't just flow your way through a tournament and win. You can't just expect to be a calculated player like me using your natural adaptation. That's not gonna work. And lastly, green sees all three colors as completely different. The way green sees you is that they see red as stressful. Why would you want to play? This is true, I think this way. Why would you want to play like that? Where you get one call right and you just lose. Where you have to make the right play every single time to keep your strategy moving forward. This truly resonates with who I am. This is how I think as a green player. They see yellow as risky. Why are we kicking sleep powder? You notice these very aggressive players. Green players look at it as too risky, too aggressive. I don't understand. It's too much. There's too much to lose. And they see blue as being robotic. Every sleep turn you're gonna write down, every damage calc, every turn. I think this way. When I see a player against me writing down notes every single turn, I'm like, all right, well, you're just a boring player. Like, you're just boring. You're a nerd. That's okay, obviously, I'm just saying. But this is how everyone views everyone else, okay? And here's the truth. To win, you have to stop judging other players, but you have to start studying them. Every color, every player has their flaws, but every color has their own secret power. The best players don't just understand that their own color, their own play style, they learn how to borrow from the others. How can I be more like blue? How can I be more like red? How can I be more like yellow? You have to learn red's urgency, learn yellow's fearlessness, learn blue's structure, and learn green's calm. We're gonna break down how to actually battle each color on ladder or in a tournament. So when you're playing against someone and you realize after game 1 or game 2 how they're playing, this is gonna be how you can actually see them and then beat them. To beat red, there's 3 things you have to do. 1 is change the pace. Force them off of their normal game plans. Do this, protect, pivot, delay the game and hard call and react to where you suck them in so you can counter and spit it back out. It's clearly what you have to do is make them uncomfortable by creating decision loops. For example, play in a way to where if they don't get the turn right, they're overwhelmed. Make them overwhelmed. Don't do the status quo. To beat yellow, in my opinion, this is the only way to do it, is stick to your fundamentals. Don't try to out crazy them because that's where you're playing into their hands. You have to punish their risky maneuvers with solid, consistent playing. Prepare your common text. Have your common EVs built out and understand that you're grounded in your own plan. And if you're consistent enough with that, eventually they're gonna run out of creative ideas and they're gonna lose. They're gonna throw it at the sink and they're gonna lose, okay? And let them mess up for you. You don't have to be the one instigating, be the reactive one who lets them mess up and fall flat on their face. Watch that miss leap powder, bro. Just watch it happen. To beat blue is a little bit different. This is where you have to beat players like Wolf Glick, the robots. And I beat Wolf before. I beat the best player in the world 2-0. And this is honestly how I did it. Throw off their prep. Lead something completely unexpected and have EVs on your team that are not prepared for. For me, this was using Stamina or Chaladon, but instead of being bulky, I was max speed. He was not prepared for that. Tempo, pressure, early. Make them have to speed up. Force mistakes by putting them under stressful situations. Make them scared about expanding force. Make them worried about Thunder Wave. Make them scared about Terra Normal, Ursaluna, Life Orb, Blood Moon on turn 1. Use misdirection. Use double switches. Surprise Terras. Aggressive turn 1, turn 2. Throw them off their game. And lastly, to beat green, you have to force change. You have to lead aggressively. Whenever you lead aggressive into green, what ends up happening is that they are not feeling comfortable in that situation. If you notice, there's a clear sign here. Make your opponents feel uncomfortable in their state. Green wants to react and play smart and counter the way you play. However, it's hard to counter something when you can lose a whole Pokemon on turn 1. Disrupt their flow early with big tempo swings. Make them play a style that they don't want to play. Like, make them have to speed up. up. Make them have to win damage trades. No one wants to do that. Very simply put, to beat anyone, here's what I believe. When you walk into battle, don't ask, what's the right move to play? Don't ask that question. What you should be asking yourself is, what color is the player I'm playing against? Identify that as early as possible. Then you can reverse engineer the win, because not only do you know the matchup, but you know how they're gonna play it. The best players don't just know their color and don't just know their opponents. They learn how to speak and play all four. So very simply put, I'm curious, which color are you? I'm a green, but let me know in the comments which one you are, because next time you're battling, I want you to try to guess the opponent's color by turn 3. If you do this, especially in a best of 3 format, which competitive Pokemon is in, you will get so far ahead and win more games. I'm telling you that you will. Let's see if you can read them before they can read you. If you like this breakdown, comment the word color for a full 20 question personality guide that guarantees by the end of it, you will know exactly which color you are. It's free. It's me giving you advice to help you more. I want to help you more, okay? Just comment the word color and I'll send you the guide right now, instantly. It's visual, you can print it out, whatever you want. And let's level up together, okay? Let's figure out our colors, figure out our opponent's colors, and let's win more games, okay? If you want to watch how I actually have built my teams, then watch this video right here. And if you want to know why I think you should even play Pokemon, then watch this video right here. All right, please like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been your boy Darsh. Peace.